I am here in one of my favorite nettle gathering spots. Nettle, such a nutritious spring green. Urtica dioica. They have opposing leaves, as you can see here, and they sting you, so they're fairly easy to identify. I love to collect them in the spring. Once they get much bigger than this, we don't use them. But I will take these home and blanch them in water to get the sting out and then process them accordingly. And some of these larger ones here I will dry for nourishing herbal infusions. Hello! I have been gathering so many nettles. Here's a little basket right here. I'm going to show you how to get the sting out. Over here on the stove, I have my water, and it's just starting to boil. I'll use tongs, and I will just blanch these for a few moments. Place them down in there. I just press them down in the water, and I reserve this cooking water too. It's really nice for house plants or in the garden. So once those are down in there, I just let those sit in the boiling water for a little while. And I am going to make pesto. The recipe I use is in this book here, The Herbal Kitchen. I love this book. Cammie McBride. And I'm just going to use her basic pesto recipe in here. And it's just your regular pesto, only I leave the cheese out because I can put cheese on. Usually this pesto I'll use on pasta, and then I can put fresh parm right on top, or pizza. And if it's going as a pizza sauce, to me it doesn't really need any more cheese, but feel free to put cheese in your pesto if you like. I'm going to make a large batch of this nettle pesto, and then I'm going to freeze it so I can enjoy it all through the coming seasons. So we will start with the nettles. These nettles I blanched already the other day. So that's what I'm going to whip up first. I will take you over to these nettles for a moment so you can check them out. So this is what it looks like, and that's about as long as it's been on there. So I'm going to pull those out of there and put them in a colander. And I'll be right back to make the pesto. Alrighty, let's make some pesto. So I'm going to start by popping these garlic cloves open just with the back end of a knife. See, not that knife. Here we go. So I just pop this garlic, and I'm going to go with, let's see, 6 cloves of garlic. And then I'm going to put a large sum of this blanched and then cooled nettle into the food processor right here. You can, of course, follow exact measurements. I do not. I just sort of eyeball it. And this recipe calls for 3/4 cup olive oil, 2½ cups fresh leafy green herb, 1/4 to 1/2 cup nuts or seeds, 2 cloves of garlic, and salt. So that's what I'm doing. I've got the garlic in there in the bottom. That's not part of the nettle. So I just pack that in there. That looks like more than 2½ cups. I will put in a little bit of salt, just a little sprinkle, and then I'm going to use pine nuts. I also have a bunch of walnuts. I like walnuts in pesto also. So we'll just put a little bit in there. So that's about what that looks like. And then I will pour quite a bit of olive oil. This is just extra virgin cold pressed organic olive oil from Azure. It's important to use good quality ingredients. Oop, dribbling down here. Alrighty, so this is so simple. I'm just going to zip over to my food processor, blend this up, and then put it in containers to freeze it. Okay, so as typical, it needs a little more oil, so I just will throw that in as I'm going along. And there it is, the pesto. I'm going to spoon these into jars and then label them and stick them in the freezer. I freeze in glass. Not everybody does. You can use plastic, but I'll show you a good tip for freezing in glass. So you can take, like when your socks get a hole in them, you can just cut. I usually cut the foot part off and the part that goes up the leg. I just cut into little sections and they fit perfectly on these mason jars, and then they won't clang against each other in the freezer, or they also help keep things cool in like to go if you're packing lunches and things like that. So basic recipe: olive oil, garlic, salt, nuts, and cheese if you like. Now I'm going to take a little moment and I'm going to take you over to my drying nettle. I love to make the nourishing herbal infusions, which I have one going right here. This is nettle, so look at how thick. It's not strained yet, but that is the color of the nettle infusion. And I follow the same protocol or whatever. I weigh out 1 ounce in a quart jar, pour the boiling water over it, cap it, let it sit for 4 hours or overnight, strain it, and enjoy it. Nettle is a little bit green for some people. Not everybody likes it. I just would suggest, if you don't like the flavor of it, maybe try it on ice and have it really cold. I love the flavor. I think nettle is so full of vitamins and minerals. When you eat nettle and you drink nettle, it just, your body feels fabulous. And I just feel like when I'm consuming nettle on a regular basis, I am functioning at, you know, the best I can possibly function. I will grab you now, and we are going to go over to the drying rack. And so these nettles here, these have been here for a few days, and I will just come over and flip them around and flip them over. These have been here a couple days, yeah, so they're starting to dry up good. Now, when these are all dry, I will process them in the food processor as well to break the plant material up for infusions. Alrighty, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this little nettle excursion. And if you like this video, please share it with a friend. Thanks for watching.